Hey, a lot of companies waste an enormous amount of money on marketing. The design is excellent, the photos are beautiful, but your website just is looking great, but it's just not getting customers. Why? Because you don't have the words that make people buy. So, but now you can fix that with Sage Tree. Sage Tree can help you find the words that make it easy for your customers to understand what to do and how to buy from you. Stop wasting money today and schedule a call. Getting started is real easy. Visit sagetree.com, click on the schedule an appointment button at sagetree.com, and click on that schedule a call button.
I just read the funniest tweet. This has nothing to do with guns, but you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
Of course.
So, unfortunately, we all know who Bob Barker is.
Yes.
Sadly, he passed away, but long life. What a great guy. Great sense of humor. Great dude. Great career. Passed away at 99. You all heard of that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So here's the tweet. I don't know who this guy is, so I'm not going to give him any credit, but it says, I cannot believe Bob Barker lived as close to 100 as possible without going over.
That is good.
I have a feeling Bob would laugh at that hardest. Okay, so what 2 days ago there was a shooting at a biker bar. Tell us about this biker bar, Dave.
Well, it's world famous, actually. I mean, and it's called Cook's Corner. And it's where four roads come together, and a lot of biker clubs use that as a rendezvous before they head out into the desert or the mountains or what have you. Never really had a problem. It's kind of a neutral zone.
Neutral ground for bikers.
But thanks to Alicia, who did some serious research, it really had nothing to do with the biking community.
So let's talk about it. So what there was
Biker community.
There was a shooting over there was a shooting at this bar. Well, it was 2 days ago, right? I think it happened. What, Friday? Maybe 3 days ago.
Yeah, 4 days ago.
Yeah.
3-4 days ago, there was a shooting. And talk about what happened.
And that's during the week when Cook's is not that busy, because Cook's is a weekend gathering.
Yeah.
So that's important to know that it's not like everybody was getting together.
And you said it's in like East Orange County.
Yeah, it's right off Lake Forest. Take Lake Forest off the 5 and head east.
Oh, wow.
You can't miss it. It's a humongous big white building. It's called Cook's Corner.
I wonder how a biker bar, and it's been there for forever.
Been there forever.
I don't really think of biker bars like Lake Forest is kind of a nice little.
Yeah,
area.
but you got to head. I just say
way
you
out.
take the exit and head east. Yeah.
Gotcha. So what happened? Give us a little
rundown there, Alicia.
So it occurred on the 24th.
Yep.
So we have a retired police sergeant who had been estranged from his wife. It looks like he had relocated, I believe, to Ohio. And it just the articles that I'm finding state that he traveled from Ohio to where he and his wife had resided and located his wife in this bar. It said she had a companion with her in the bar, which of course we all assumed would be a male. But however, lower down in the article, it does state that it was a woman. So she was at this bar with a companion, and he went in, and first thing he did is he shot his estranged wife in the face.
Jeez. Okay, so a retired cop, not
Correct.
a biker.
Correct. Well, but
Well, maybe.
Could have been a biker.
could have been.
Could have
That'd
been.
be
Doesn't
weird.
state.
We were for a guy to retire as a cop and then go become a biker.
Well,
Stranger
there's a
things
lot
have
of
happened.
motor officers. There's lots of motor officers.
Oh, okay. So he could have been a biker,
biker
but maybe
and
not a bike gang.
Not an
guy.
outlaw biker.
Because my dad was a Hell's Angel and became a biker.
I think or became a cop.
Or became a cop.
He was
I'm
a Hell's
sorry.
Angel. I think that's
he
fascinating.
He became a cop. So and motorcycles are motorcycles are motorcycles, just like
Right.
guns are guns are guns. I mean, you never see shooting them.
Okay, so his estranged wife, which means they weren't yet divorced, but
Correct.
they were no longer together.
But
Correct.
her partner, her companion was a female.
Lower in the article, it does state that the companion was a female. I just thought it was interesting that
So she
the
may
opening
not
line,
have been with another man.
It doesn't sound like it, but I just found it was interesting that way that the verbiage was laid out in this article. What their relationship is not clear. So he had worked for the Ventura department, and he traveled, shot her in the face, and then he had come in with 2 handguns. He went out to his vehicle to retrieve 2 more. He got 1 additional handgun and a shotgun. And there was a gentleman who approached him as he was attempting to get more guns from the car, and that gentleman was shot as well.
Jeez.
And so
He's a total
he went
stranger, this guy?
it appears so,
Well, this is a
appears
level
so.
of anger
right?
that's really got some deep-seated issues. So there's way more to this story, but now we don't know who shot him.
He was shot by law enforcement who responded. So he put off a number of rounds in the bar. Doesn't state how many rounds, at least not that I can find. The companion to his wife was shot and killed as well. A number of other people in the bar were shot. I believe it was up to 6.
Well, if you figure you take 2 pistols and a shotgun
Yeah.
to the bar, and you have to go out and get more.
Yeah.
So that's not just I caught you with another man and I shot you.
Yeah, the wife, it says she filed for divorce back in December. So clearly there were some issues. He was.
And they have kids.
Yeah, they do have
So
2
there's a
adult grown
child
children. 2 adult
Adult.
grown children, correct. So, I mean, the carnage that, I mean, no, by no means is would I say that 3 dead and 6 wounded is a good outcome. But given the firepower that he had, and I would imagine the skills that he should have
He's
had
not a
as law
bad
enforcement,
shot.
he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean,
Despite being a cop.
correct.
And the bar, as you probably would
A
imagine,
packed place with people.
packed with nobody carrying a gun.
Right. It doesn't state if he was using buckbird or slug, but a shotgun in a packed, tight room. Imagine the carnage, the
Oh, my
potential.
So let's go over it because Dave, you brought up a good point off the air. The waiting period. Obviously, there was no cooling down period. He didn't. So that didn't. That
He had to
didn't-
cool. He had to cool from Ohio to California.
Yeah, that didn't work.
That didn't work. It is illegal for anyone to carry in a bar,
Correct.
unless he's current law enforcement, which he isn't. But if you're a CCW person, or even if you're not a CCW person, it is not legal to carry in a bar at all.
Correct.
So he carried in a bar. That didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
All it did was prevent anybody that maybe could have defended themselves from defending themselves.
Correct.
So
It was a rage. There had to be a rage
Absolutely.
of some kind. Whether we find out about it, I don't know. Not to change the subject, did you hear about the bakery that refused to serve a police officer coffee while in uniform?
no.
Wow.
Why?
Because the bakery stated that their company policy was they will never serve anybody in uniform that carries a gun. So,
It was the gun part, not the uniform part.
but their business model says in a uniform and carrying a gun. So you have to be. I mean, if you just went in a uniform, they'd probably be fine.
I hope they don't get robbed anytime soon.
Right.
I hope they do.
Well, and that's the other thing is.
Well, think of those bakeries that had a hard time that
wouldn't
wouldn't make
bake a
cakes
cake
for like
for a
LB.
lesbian.
Right. And look at the backlash that they received.
Right.
And I've never even heard of this that you're talking about.
Well, they're
here.
saying, okay, well, that's fine. Oh, they said, but if he comes in his street clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and all he wanted was a cup of coffee because he was working a double shift
Unreal.
because they have no police in that town. So he was working overtime. And so now they're saying, okay, do you have that posted someplace? Because it says, well, I have the right to refuse service, da-da-da-da. They had none of the above.
And that's why you're seeing police departments and sheriffs all over the country having difficult times getting cops to even apply.
Yeah.
And cops are taking early retirement. And why do you want to get in an
And
industry
they
like
don't
that right now?
understand it. It's just like, well, why don't they come to work for us? We're going to pay them. Well, yeah, but you don't crap on somebody and pay them $40,000 a year and expect them to be happy.
Yeah, the people who are supposed to be appreciative of your services are crapping all over you.
It's terrible.
Well, and broadly, I mean, it sounds. It sounds more like a gun thing. They're like a
Right,
version
because they
of
didn't
guns.
want a
I
gun
mean,
in there.
It's
No.
ridiculous.
He didn't buy a donut. He just bought a cup of coffee. That's all he wanted was a cup of coffee.
This
country
it's
is
not helping.
insane.
This whole weirdness towards guns and gun owners.
Well, they're getting a backlash like nobody's business.
Well, to Mike's point, who's going to come to their rescue?
Well, they're getting the town has got a backlash against this bakery that is going crazy.
Really, what are they doing?
Well, they're just
They're zero business.
zero business. And then I don't know if this is. I won't even go into that. That's totally different.
No.
Well, no, they.
and then our politicians and our talking heads are not making it any easier,
Any
frankly, on all sides.
Yeah.
I mean, back to the biker bar thing, you would think that our Governor Newsom is going to come out. Maybe he said some things about the family and talked about how it was a sad occasion, but You're never going to find an anti-gun politician who's not going to see a situation like this and use it as an opportunity to not support Rays for their cause and to advance their policy. So, of course, what did Newsom do when he came out of, after the biker bar situation? Is Newsom comes out and says, "Well, clearly we need more red flag laws." That's what
Oh, he did come out and say that?
that's what would have solved this. Is we had more red flag laws, and of course, no one has responded. He's an ex-cop. What about his life is going to trigger any sort of red flag?
That doesn't already exist.
Even regardless of the fact that it's an awful policy, but your answer is more red flag laws against someone who has an impeccable background.
Yeah.
What is it you expect to occur? And so you have scumbags like this who are going to try to raise support and advance policy off of the sad death of an individual.
But again, what is the background? There's not many police officers that would do what this guy did. There's got to be something at the bottom of this that we don't know anything about that triggered this, coming from Ohio. You know, literally going in, emptying his weapons, going back to the truck to get more weapons or ammo. It's mental illness maybe.
Emotions
did he state what red flag law addition would be beneficial?
It's a good question, because
what is there that they don't already have that would have flagged
the wife's in California.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, she could have red flagged him. I mean, it's not like it wasn't there for her to do.
But
so
she
that
didn't
do
even
anything
see.
either.
She probably didn't even see the problem.
I think you're probably right.
We have
You're
tools
taking
and resources
you're
to
taking
support
Alicia's
you.
job. I just want you to know that. So you're a deep, you know what? Just thought I'd let you know.
Newsom says our state's red flag laws allow victims, family members, coworkers, and others to work with local law enforcement and the courts to safely remove guns from those who have a potential threat. How do you know that this guy's a potential threat?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Is what
He doesn't
could have been
even
done?
live here.
I do wish that folks that were on our side or believed in what we believe in philosophically would
Step up.
and make their own statement every time somebody like, hey, a good guy with a gun saved the day. I
Our
mean, I do wish we had
politicians
more than
don't
that.
even do it. Have you ever heard of a politician stand up for somebody one way or the other?
Well, not enough. We don't get the press conference. You know what I mean? We don't get our side.
Yeah,
the other side holds press conferences at the drop of
In a heartbeat.
The pro gun guys in situations like this, their answer is let's stay quiet for a week.
Yeah,
And
like
that's
what-
the worst time to stay
Yeah,
quiet.
what the hell?
Yeah, that's the time where you need to stand up and you need to come back with the vitriol that they're coming back with, saying no law would have protected this. No law would have prevented this from occurring.
But see, they don't want to be canceled.
Yeah.
If that happens, then all of a sudden, the minute somebody says that, then the left will go after them with everything they have.
Yeah,
And
during
that could ruin their career.
during the very rare occurrence where you do have school shootings and that kind of thing, statistically rare occurrences, you get a lot of the national gun groups and a lot of the pro 2A legislators dead silent.
Right.
Well, and it's what I mean. I mean, there was just a headline, I think it was, guys like AWR Hawkins, put it out there. I don't know if USA Today or ABC News talked about it, where a woman defended herself with a firearm. And, why aren't our, supposedly pro Second Amendment Republican elected officials, why wasn't that a press conference? Hey, look, guys, check out what happened. Look, everybody, draw everybody's attention to this. This is an important story. We support the Second Amendment. Let's get this into, the public media. We never do that. They do it at the drop of a hat. I mean, Newsom, whatever, they're getting their message out. And I wish the folks who were on our side would use media more aggressively.
Yeah, you're starting to see more and more on social media. I'd say really only in the last 3 or 4 years, where you're seeing a lot of the pro 2A organizations, whenever there is a case of granny shoots scumbag who comes in the door or something like that,
right,
that they get that story out there. And if you're subscribed to social media, if you follow social media, you'll come across that, but you don't hear it in the news.
No, you never hear it in the news. You won't even hear it on the conservative side. No.
hear it here.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight. the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.